Okay, my friends, it's noon on Wednesday, and today we're going to talk about natural support for your allergies. So welcome. I'm Romelia, for those of you that are new to our group, or for those of you who will be watching later somewhere else. Just a quick introduction. So it's awful out there. We're feeling it. We just got over, well, my kids just got over some nasty bouts of congestion buildup and sinus stuff because of, what's going on out there. And if you're in New Mexico, some of the, fallback from the fires, from the, all the particulate matter in the air is just really exacerbating things. So even though this isn't specific for particulate matter dealing with something that is not pollens or molds or anything like that, it's still applicable because it does help overall with the respiratory support end of it and the immune system support end. So I do have today a presentation to share with you. And let me get that up so that we can get you up and going and honor your time. Oh, here's the present key. And look what I did. I finally got it on the first screen. So there you have it. I always do forget to hit record though. So I'll be recording to this computer. And then let me get these little pieces taken care of, and then we'll get started. All right. So basically cough, sneeze, and snort, right? That's what's been happening at least for the past couple of months. I know for our family in particular, we start dealing with allergy issues and looking for natural support like mid-February. And some things to consider is that everybody responds to oils differently. Everybody may have, some of you may already have a management plan in place. Work with your doctor if you plan to incorporate any of these natural strategies, okay? They need to be in the loop. It's really important. So what we're gonna cover are the most common allergies, especially for us here in New Mexico, Albuquerque specifically. Some natural solutions to look at, and then I'm gonna talk about the essential oils and recipes that we've been using and finding incredible support for our allergies. So what are allergies? This is a response from our immune system. It's a natural response. Anytime that we are faced with a foreign substance that we are either touching on our skin, inhaling through our nose, taking through our mouth, anything like that that is foreign, our natural immune response is to immediately make antibodies for that particular substance and start trying to get rid of it, right? So that's a natural response that we have. What happens when we have allergies, we have a heightened sensitivity to some of those things. And it's usually a specific pollen or a specific mold. We're gonna talk specifically here for allergic rhinitis or hay fever. There are other types of allergies that need to be addressed, but that is beyond the scope of this short presentation that we're doing. Food allergies, even anaphylaxis, those kind of things, or a bee sting. That won't be addressed here. We're just specifically talking about allergic rhinitis for this presentation. So whenever our immune system is encountered with some type of allergen, pollen, something that's going to trigger it, the first reaction is to, of course, make those antibiotics. And some of the things that we know and we can see that antibiotics have been, initiated for this response is we can see some inflammation on our skin. Maybe our sinuses get clogged, or our airways or our digestive system starts acting a little funny. So what the response that we have to those allergens and pollens, it varies from person to person. Some people just might experience the little itchy, watery eyes, right? Some people may get full-blown irritation with, complete sinus infections. So it just varies from person to person. Some other things that, some other symptoms that people might have is itching on the roof of the mouth. So I know that for my son, there's a snort right there. Did you know dogs can have allergies too? So something that happens with my son is that he gets an itch on the roof of his mouth. And he knows that he's going to have some issues within the next 24 to 48 hours if he doesn't take care of it right away. Some people do get a stuffy nose or even red, swollen eyes. It really depends on the person, and it really depends on your severity of response. An interesting fact is that more than 2/3 of spring allergy sufferers have year-round symptoms, and that's a lot of people that are suffering from these symptoms throughout the year. So it's really important to know what your triggers are and know how to do something about them naturally. So some considerations for allergies. Trees, grass, and ragweed pollens, they thrive during cool nights and warm days. Why is this important for you to keep in mind? Well, it's going to help you identify the times that you are most likely to have an allergic response. So pollen levels also tend to peak in the morning hours. For those of you that like to get up early and go for those walks or do your exercises outside first thing in the morning, keep that in mind if you are an allergy sufferer. Rain, beautiful rain, does wash away our pollen, but keep in mind too that our pollen counts are going to soar after rainfall. So that might be something to take into consideration if you're planning a trip and you're going to go out hiking or camping or something after a rainfall. Keep in mind that you just may have some immediate responses to what's out and about in the air. And of course, this is common sense, but if there's no wind, there's not a high pollen count. If it's windy, it's definitely a high pollen count. As we were driving back Sunday from northern New Mexico, we encountered at least 5-10 miles of just this horrendous dust storm. And visibility was very limited, and had to slow down to make sure I wasn't going to run into anybody. But it was really, really bad. So keep that in mind as you're planning your activities outdoors, that take a look-see, take a look-see at the weather. That's really important so that you can make sure that you are prepared for whatever it is that you encounter. Our most common known treatments for allergies, the best one is avoiding your allergies. So knowing what triggers you, knowing what your allergens are, the things that flare up your immune system, and avoiding them is by far the best thing that you can do for yourself. Medication is very common, and it's one of those go-to for many people that this is all you've been told to do, right? And then if you have severe allergies, or if you are one that suffers from anaphylaxis, you may have immunotherapy that's involved. So my husband had immunotherapy up until, I think he said he was about the age of 13, and he would just go in monthly for his injections, and it really helped him with his allergies. He, since then we've had a tremendous amount of success, like I said before, with these natural solutions. But before doTERRA came into our lives, my son and my husband were using over-the-counter medications. They were also using prescribed medications, and that was working. Some of the things that they really didn't care for was the sleeplessness that came with those medications, the really drying out of sinuses, and for my son, it caused nosebleeds. He also had another steroid that he would use on a daily basis, and that too dried out his sinuses really badly to where he would wake up with blood on his pillow. So those are some of the reasons that my family decided to not use over-the-counter or prescribed medications to treat our allergies. We really leaned into that natural way of taking care of our bodies because of those things. And if if you're happy with what you're doing, continue doing it if it's working for you. These are just some other options that are available to you If you're choosing to, maybe you're not having a really good response with your allergy meds anymore. And that's what happens with a lot of medications. You just get to a point that they're not as effective as they were when you first started. And then you're trying something else. So if you want to get off that, cycle of it works, then it doesn't, let's try something else, this may be a very good option for you. So natural solutions by far is the best plan of action for finding what's causing your suffering and stopping it, and not just treating the symptoms. It's really to devise strategies to avoid your triggers. One of the things that I learned very early on when my son started, when he was diagnosed with some respiratory issues, is we immediately started identifying what triggers, would set him off. Whether it was a reaction on his skin or maybe it was the wheezing that accompanied it. This was a really big strategy for us, and it took commitment and it took time, but being aware of what would set off, that whole gamut of response, it was really beneficial, and so that we were able to minimize his what am I trying to say? His exposure to those triggers. So the best thing to do is monitor those pollen and mold counts in your area. So back to this screen right here, this is just a quick screenshot of our city's daily air quality report. And this is just, it's cropped, you guys. So this is just showing you the pollen counts. But our daily air quality report not only includes, pollens and things, it also tells you about the ozone layer. It tells you about the particulate matter in the air, the winds, because all of those factors do play a role in identifying a good time to go out and play, or maybe it's a time to stay in and read a book. So keep your windows and doors shut at home and in your car during allergy season, or especially if you're driving around like we were with all the dust and particulate matter flying in the air. It's best to just keep those windows and doors shut. Know which pollens you are sensitive to, and I'll come back to that journaling, keeping a list of how you're feeling. Whether you're trying to identify a pollen or a mold or a time of the year that you're most sensitive, or even if you're looking at food allergies, this is a great way to start identifying some of those things that are setting off your symptoms. So journaling is key. What time of the day was it? Did you eat something? What was your activity? What was your exposure? Those kind of things are always helpful to keep track of, especially if this is a new thing for you and you're trying to identify what is really your biggest issues out there. And testing. Maybe you can go in to do a testing, and this can be done either through a blood draw or skin test. This is, something that you can talk to your doctor about if it's information that you feel is going to be helpful to you. I will tell you that skin test can be a little painful because, if you're exposed to something on your back that you're allergic to and you can't scratch it, man, it's not very fun. But anyway, that's another option for you too, to help you identify which pollens you're sensitive to. Take a shower, wash your hair, change your clothes, especially if you've been doing something outdoors and it's during your time of the year where you're most sensitive, right? So if you can't take a shower, wet a washcloth and wipe yourself down. At least that'll take off some of those pollens and particulate matter that have landed on you. And then, wear a mask. These really do help for people that have allergens. That are, really sensitive to things out there. It helps, this is the only time that I ever remember wearing masks or seeing them is when somebody had a lot of allergies and they were out and about. So anyway, those are just some natural things that you can do. They don't include anything invasive. And really it's just being aware. Some other things to consider if you do know that you're during a high allergy season for yourself, make sure to wash your sheets, your bedding more frequently and in hot water so that you can eliminate a lot of that. If you have carpets, make sure that you're vacuuming on a regular basis too, to remove those the pollens or the molds that are coming in on your feet. Use some plants in your home to purify your air. And just follow your management plan if you have one in place with your doctor, because that really is something that is very specific for you. So natural solutions, essential oils. Why we use essential oils? Well, one, for us, like I mentioned before, my son and my husband were having some adverse reactions to their medications, so these are 100% natural and safe. They are extracts from plants. For those of you that are not aware of what essential oils are, they're extracts from plants, and they are very, very effective. The thing about essential oils is that they're not just targeting our symptoms, like the symptoms of sneezing or wheezing, coughing. It's not just targeting those symptoms, but it's going to the root cause of that response. So it really helps beyond the surface level here. It goes straight to the cellular level. And believe it or not, they really are more affordable than your over-the-counter or prescribed medication. 1 or 2 drops is really all you need to feel the effects of those essential oils. So like, I don't know, like the loratadine that you would buy over the counter, you're probably maybe paying $20 for a 30-day supply. Well, you can use your essential oils in 1 or 2 drops to get the same effect of that over-the-counter loratadine, and you're only paying pennies for that. So it really is more affordable, and they're definitely more effective, and you don't have the side effects with it. And that is really why we gravitated to this way of taking care of my 2 guys here. So some of the ones, I'm only going to talk about 5 of them, because these really are the ones that we use on a regular basis during this heightened time of the year. Okay, so we have our lavender, and lavender is distilled from the flowering tops of the true lavender plant, and ours is harvested in Bulgaria, France. And this works like a natural histamine. Let me get my notes, because I have some things in here about some journal articles. It does work as a natural antihistamine because it has some really strong anti-inflammatory properties. There was a study published in the Journal of Pharmacy and Pharmacology that showed lavender inhibited immunoglobulin E. So what that is, it's an antibody that is immediately produced by your immune system whenever it encounters, whenever it's going through an allergic response. And so lavender was shown to inhibit that response, to really tone it down, so that you didn't have a full-blown, snotty nose or whatever. So it has some really great anti-inflammatory properties that can be beneficial to you. So there's 3 ways that you can use this lavender. You can diffuse it. Putting it into a diffuser is a great way to get immediate respiratory support. You can dilute it in some liquid, maybe drinking a hot tea with lemon, lavender, peppermint in there can really help too. Or you can just put it on topically. One of the best places that we like to use our lavender when using it topically for this purpose, so behind the ears and down the side of the neck along the eustachian tubes. That really helps to kind of promote some relief in those areas. And lemon. So our lemon is sourced in Italy and Brazil, and it is cold pressed from the rind of the fruit. The main chemical constituents are limonene, pinene, and terpenine. So what these do is limonene, when you take it internally, it supports your immune system. And you really do want to have a healthy immune response for whatever it is that you're encountering. So lemon helps to really support the immune system that way. There were a lot of studies that showed that lemon, the limonene in lemon, helps to regulate and reduce migration of neutrophils. So let me admit here. So going back to this, the neutrophils are also antibodies that are released during this immune and inflammatory response. And they're actually the first cells that are recruited into that, let me hide this again, that are recruited into that whole immune response. So limonene really helps in that aspect. So the best way to get the effects of that limonene for this particular purpose, again, is to take it internally, because it does help, create a healthy support for the immune system. You could also diffuse it, and you can also use it topically. So the lemon and the lavender together around the ears and along the eustachian tube are wonderful for this type of support. Peppermint. So peppermint is distilled from the leaves of the flowering tops of the plants. Ours actually comes, the majority comes from the Pacific Northwest. And the main chemical components in peppermint that are specific support for an allergic response to pollen are, hello, hi, menthol and cineol. So what these two do is, cineol is a mucolytic. So what that means, it thins out the mucus. So it's going to make it easier to move that through your system, whether it's in your sinuses or in the, the airways. It'll help thin that mucus. It also, the menthol helps to support coughing. It relieves the coughing. It reduces airway hyperresponsiveness. And so it's a great thing to either put on topically or diffuse. This is a perfect thing to take with your lemon lavender. A veggie capsule of these three oils is a really awesome support for your immune system. Eucalyptus. Now, eucalyptus is one of my favorite oils. It just has such amazing support for respiratory systems. Eucalyptus is steam distilled. I'm finding my notes here from the eucalyptus tree in Australia and South Africa. It has a very high concentration of eucalyptol, which is also known as that one cineol that we saw there. But what this really helps with is that anti-inflammatory. It has anti-inflammatory properties. It has bronchodilating effects on the airways. And it also has some calming effects, so like a natural analgesic. So in putting this in your diffuser and inhaling it is great support for the respiratory system. So putting it maybe topically on your chest, or even on the bottoms of the feet are going to get it into, that supportive role. Diffusion by far is our favorite way here to use eucalyptus. And then the other unknown sung hero is AirX. So this was released a couple of years ago, and it's called the Air Blend. It was specifically created for aromatic use because it does cleanse your air and it supports respiratory tissue. This has a combination of litchi, tangerine, grapefruit, frankincense, and cardamom essential oils. So tangerine and grapefruit, they're natural sources of limonene. So I already mentioned the limonene and how it helps to support the immune system, right? It has a lot of antioxidant properties, cell protective benefits. Frankincense. Well, we all know frankincense is the king of oils, and it's a wonderful support for healthy DNA function and repair. So it's really going to help that immune system not only do its job really well, but after you have that crazy episode, it's going to help at the cellular level to take care of the lung tissue there. Cardamom has a very high concentration of the cineol in there. So again, that's helping to support the airways, open them up, calm them down, and then just overall supportive respiratory function. And then it's just in litchi. I didn't have litchi mentioned here for you, but it is a phytochemical compound that has a gnarl and geraniol components. And this has been shown to have very powerful antimicrobial activity against airborne pathogens. So it'll really help to lessen that quick response of the airways whenever it encounters, pollens or molds. So AirX is one of those that we can use all three ways. We can diffuse it. We can take it internally, which is by far the #1 way that I take it. And then you can use it topically. So these are our 5 big players here in our home, but for some other considerations, cardamom alone is amazing for airway support. So I've been known to add this to our roller balls, add it to our diffuser blends, and the same thing with thyme. Thyme we usually take when, like 2 weeks ago when my kids are really struggling with, all the sinus issues that they were having. Thyme was really great to add to their little roller ball so that they can put that on their chest and on the bottoms of their feet, the base of their neck, and around their ears. It really provided them an incredible support. And then we have Breathe. Now, Breathe, I'm sure many people who are familiar with essential oils are familiar with this one. It is our respiratory blend, and you can use this topically or aromatically. So this is also very beneficial to have on hand too. And something that we love a lot is our Breathe Vapor Stick. This is by far my son's first choice on supporting his airways, is this little respiratory vapor stick. So this is a topical use, and you would add this to your chest. It has a very strong menthol scent, but it's not overpowering and it doesn't stink. And this is all natural, so there isn't anything petroleum based in here, and that's why I really love it too. So the recipes that I will talk about are in a little allergy book that I put together for you. And the best time to make DIYs, I'd love to do DIYs, you guys. I find that they are very effective for us. They're very inexpensive, and you can really modify things for your specific needs. This respiratory vapor stick is going to work for everybody, but it doesn't have Air-X in there, and I like Air-X, so I can make my own rub. Anyway, it's best to do your DIYs when you have time. A couple of hours that you can just focus on making your recipes, and you can make them in batches, either to last you a week, 2 weeks, and even making some big batches to last you about a month, depending on what your specific needs are. And when you're prepping to make your DIYs, make sure you gather all of your ingredients together, because then you're not feeling a little frustrated as you're trying to find a measuring spoon or a measuring cup, or what did I do with, where's my Breathe oil kind of thing. So make them with an open mind and understand that people respond to oils differently. And this is the beauty behind essential oils, because if it's not working for you, you can change it. And you're not just committed to, a big vat of whatever it is that you bought to support you from the store. So start first by making small batches. And when you find a recipe that you really love and that's really effective for you, then consider making bigger batches of it, so that you're not, really wasting your ingredients or your oils, and you're really fine-tuning things that are very specific for you. So some of the recipes that are in this little ebook here, there's a veggie cap recipe, chest rub, a roller ball, even shower melts. I really do like the shower melts because it just creates that, full room diffusion effect. Some cleansing wipes, diffuser blends, and bath bombs. So again, be sure you download your allergy book. It has the recipes in there, and I will show you those here in just a minute. And then this is how you can stay connected with us. And always, if you have any questions, just send us a message, whether it's on social media or our email address. Many of you who are members of Casa Walters have my phone number. Feel free to text me at any time, and I thank you when you do. I love helping you work through your natural solutions and helping you get the most of your oils. All right, so I'm going to get out of this, and I'm going to stop sharing. And then I'm going to get here to this point and show you guys some of the recipes that are in here. So first and foremost, my absolute favorite way of using these oils, and just so that you can see them, it's lavender, peppermint, lemon, eucalyptus, and Air X. And eucalyptus is the only one of these 5 that you cannot take internally. So one of my absolute favorite ways of taking these oils, and the majority of us in my home do it this way, is just to make a veggie capsule. So you can find veggie capsules in your online store. And this has, how many does it have in here? About 300? No, about 160. So this lasts us quite a long time. My husband and I are the only ones that take veggie capsules on a daily basis because we have them, you know, we're taking a blend specifically for our health needs. But when you're having issues like some of you are, or we are right now, you know, with allergies and such, this is a really great way to get, you know, get the support that you need. So very, very easy. Just 2 drops of lavender, 2 drops of peppermint, 2 drops of lemon, and you'll notice that they come out at different rates. You know, it depends on the viscosity of these. And I have just a little bit of lemon left in this bottle. And then 2 drops of Air X. So I really do like taking Air X internally. It's a great antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. It's just really, really supportive. And that's it. I take my little cap, I put it on there and press gently until I hear the click. And now I know that this is sealed. And this is ready to go. And you can do this definitely in the morning, like to kind of gear up for your day. At night to kind of help you stay open as you sleep, and anytime during the day that you need some extra support. So the thing to remember about essential oils is that there really is no prescribed way to, or at least the number of times a day to use them. You use them in the way that is best supported for you. So I forgot to pick cap labels on here, so I'm having to smell to see which cap is which. So that's really, you know, it for the veggie capsules, but you get to decide what, you know, how often you need to take it for yourself. Gauge your body, listen to what it's telling you, and see if, you know, do you need to add more or do you need to back off? So like I said, you can get these particular ones through your online store, or if you are in a pinch and you need them right away, you can find, yep. So Michelle says, I learned not to push too hard on the caps. Mine burst a few times. Exactly. It's just a gentle little bringing them together until you hear the click or you feel it. Because some of them, like I bought from the natural grocers, I don't hear the click as often as I do with these right here. But you can feel it. I can feel it. So that's one place you can find them, at the natural grocers. I have found that is by far the best place in town here that I can pick some up in a pinch. So the other thing is roller balls. So very, very easy. You can find these on your online store if you are a doTERRA customer. They're in accessories. And this is a 10 ml bottle. So really all you're doing with this is you're removing, well, this one has been used, as you can tell. This is empty. So you're removing the little roller ball on the top and then just pulling it out. The thing to keep in mind with these is you don't want to press too hard on the stainless steel ball here, because then it's more likely to leak on you. And these little orifice tools, you can find orifice remover tools, you can find on your online store too. They're under the accessories. And if you're ordering from different places online, a lot of them give you little plastic ones that you can use with their particular balls. And for this one, I would add about 5 drops of each of those 5 oils, because this is going to be a topical application, and then top it off with fractionated coconut oil. And this, roll on the bottoms of your feet, roll on the base of your neck, around your ears, down the sides of your neck, even your temples. Be careful not to get it in your eyes, but I have been known to tap it around my sinus cavity area here to provide just that extra support, especially for the time that my eyes are really, really itchy. That tends to really help me a lot. So the other recipes that are in here, make sure that you download so that you can get your chest rub recipe, your shower melts, your cleansing wipes, and even some bath bombs. So the cleansing wipes are great if you are like, say you left your window open and then you have, you know, you can see the pollen hanging out on a table or whatever. Use those to clean off your table. There isn't anything in here that would really hurt your skin. So if you're in a pinch to like maybe clean off your hands, that would be helpful too. But these cleansing wipes are specifically for using on your tables, your floors, your furniture. The other thing that's in here are the shower melts and bath bombs. Those always provide great relief at it, you know, and make your tub and your bath experience, you know, your own sauna and DIY pampering session, right? So diffuser blends. I mean, you can just throw all 5 of these, a couple of drops of this into your diffuser and go for it, depending on what your preferred aroma is. Eucalyptus, lemon, and peppermint are awesome. I love that. But, you know, just diffusing Air-X by itself sometimes, especially when, you know, there's a little bit more sneezing and coughing going on here, it provides amazing support in cleaning our air. So that's what I have for you. If you have any questions, just be sure to let me know. You can post below this video in our group. You can email them if you're outside of our group. And for those of you that are in our group, I will post the recipes for this for you underneath this video. And again, go ahead and go download your ebook for that. And that way you have those recipes on hand all the time. And I got a thumbs up, appreciate that. And I just really do appreciate you guys hanging out today. And I really do love supporting our health here in my home naturally. I have found that it is very effective and my family responds very well to them. And we don't spend a whole lot of money on stuff that doesn't work. Our dollars are spent very wisely when it comes to investing into our health. You know, our essential oils provide so much support. And the beauty, just an added note, a beauty of these oils is you're buying these oils to support your respiratory, you know, your seasonal allergic response to what's going out there. And you're going to find that you're going to use these oils for something else, at least 5 to 10 things, you know, that you didn't even think of that these oils are going to support you. All right. So thank you guys for hanging out. And we'll talk to you next time for our next Wellness Wednesday session. Peace.